Good. Is it live?
And we're live. Welcome, everybody. Had a little hiccup this week. More than likely, probably gonna have a hiccup next week. But we're Tuesday next week, aren't we?
Yeah, that's the one, but whenever.
Okay. So we might be all right. But so this week's fully packed. We watched the end of Legion. So we got 2 episodes to talk about. The new episode of Westworld, the first 2 episodes of Cloak and Dagger. I finally saw Upgrade, and then we watched Lady Bird on Prime, as well as Hotel Artemis, Ocean's 8, and Hereditary in theaters. Did you get everything watched?
Yeah, I also watched Coco.
Oh shit! Did you really? I really wanted to watch that the other night. I was like, oh, we'll probably save this for next week.
No, I totally watched it. I don't want to talk about movies.
All right, so let us start with. What do you think we should start with?
I don't know. It's everywhere.
I don't want to.
You literally started the list. Fucking forgot we even watched Cloak and Dagger.
Let's start there. Let's start with Cloak and Dagger because that was the most difficult thing to me watch. I watched it a couple hours ago, so it's fresh on my mind now. It's on Hulu / Freeform. The app is kind of janky. Did you have any problems with Hulu?
Nope, Hulu played it fine. So
okay, nice.
I mean, I had the problem of it immediately started playing the second episode, and I was like, "Wait, there's 2? Oh shit!"
Oh, so I thought there was only 1 episode, so it jumped immediately to the second episode, and then it definitely did not want to play the first episode whatsoever. It's like you're already this far deep in. We're not going back for anything. I was like, no, but I don't know where we are, so deleted the app 3-4 times. It was a mess. So finally did get it watched though.
Good for you. You put more effort than I would have into it.
So what'd you think of it? First 2 episodes.
It does that dumb thing that all these, the TV shows, the Netflix Marvel shows have done it too, where it's just let's keep these characters apart as much as we can, even though it's so much more interesting when they're together. So it's not Cloak and Dagger.
The characters?
I know Cloak and Dagger through they popped up in Spider-Man a lot. They were definitely Maximum Carnage crossover but I know enough to know they're mutants. Cloak has a big cloak with a trash bag in the show that he can teleport to and hold people in this void inside him that sucks, almost kills them. Then Dagger powers and can make hard knives out of light and stuff.
This show is such a stretch for me. I want to like it so much, but it's really all over the place.
Oh no, it 100% is. Everything's very ill-defined. Not only can he teleport, she has these light daggers and stuff, but also they can project into people's minds and for no explained reason.
Yeah, that's a lot of it. It also seems like they're trying to skirt around the fact that how they got their powers. It seems like they were just given to them from this explosion that happened with some docks or whatever.
Well, the Roxxon Corporation had an offshore rig that blew up while they were in the water. It's very old school Marvel. There was some science explosion, and now we have powers. I do think it's weird that they got their powers when they were 8, and then 10 years later they just finally realized it by coming together. Once they ran into each other. I do like the kind of narrative flip that it's the white girl who's like living in a old family, and it's a middle class kind of affluent black family, as opposed to what would be the easy way to do it the other way. But I mean, the show is just a mess. Like there's like
in good ways. I feel like there's a promise there. It is only 10 episodes, so it might not be as messy as the Netflix shows get. It might be a lot more tighter. It is put together far better than the Runaways, it seemed.
I don't know. I liked the Runaways though, so I'll continue to defend that. It's narratively weird. Like the kid, he's like late for basketball practice, and then all of a sudden beat him unconscious and lock him in a cage, and nothing comes of it.
It also seems very strange that these comic book shows are extremely, like, they don't want to be considered comic book anything. Like, they want to be the real world version of these things. And it's like, just fucking get out of your own way and just fucking have a little exposition explaining some shit so we can get on board with these characters and see how they're living in this life. Like, it feels like they're just putting these shadows around these characters just because they really don't know how to handle them.
Well, it doesn't help in like a show like this where it's high school kids. They be out fighting crime. It's literally like limiting it in a way. That was the appeal of like Spider-Man comics back in the 60s. He was in school and he had to balance school and being a superhero. But these shows never seem interested in that. It's to do with the powers is completely segregated from their normal life. It's weird. There's also like some kind of like police right now. I don't know what's quite going on with that thread. Because like criminal, all of a sudden there was an explosion and a shot went off and they shot the kid. Like that doesn't seem like something that needs to be covered up. Like some deep conspiracy. Like I gotta call my uncle. He's gonna make this go away. Instead, they could have very easily just done it as a threat of, it was senseless, overkill by a police against an unarmed black person, real world events, and it could be Tyrone still hurt by the fact that nothing happened to him. Like the cop could have got a slap on the wrist. It was justified. Nothing going on. And
it seemed like they were touching on that just a little bit when he was talking to his mom about it. And then they did that weird trance thing that I just still don't understand. But, like, I don't know. I want to like this show, but it really is all over the place. When they get closer to each other, does that heighten their powers? Like, with the twins from...
Oh, the twins
from... Yeah.
I haven't... Listen, I'm a comic nerd, and I've never been like, well, in Cloak and Dagger number 13... I know who Cloak and Dagger are, but I've never gone out of it.
So they fight crime then, right?
Yeah. They were kind of like real like street level heroes. They were like helping out like homeless people and runaway kids and stuff. It wasn't like we have to defeat Dr. Doom. It was much more grounded in what the characters can do, but I don't know.
See, it seems really strange. Like the Runaways, where it barely deals with the parents, but it stretched it way out for the Hulu series. It feels like they're doing that with this show as well. Like they have very little thin threads to go on, and they're just stretching those way out. So,
yeah, I mean, they definitely don't seem to be moving the narrative in these first couple episodes. It's very much like character and world, but like not in a good way. I want to say like I want like the hook of like what are these kids gonna do? Like what does having powers mean? But we're still in the oh no, I have powers phase, you know.
So I don't know. It'd be interesting. I'm glad it's not a weekly, so we might burn through it when it gets final finished and whatnot. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean it'll be easier to with Hulu, but you obviously have troubles with the app, so.
I think that's just because they're adding so much shit and trying to figure out that app. Hopefully, it'll be straightened out in a month or two. So we'll see. I saw a bunch of ads for Siren, and I was like, "No, I'm not going back. We're done with it. We'll get out of here." So what'd you think about Westworld?
I liked it. It was a good episode.
Nice. I thought it was the best of the season for sure.
It could possibly be like best of this show. Like it's just the idea that look how much like it's a character that's just kind of been in the background a little bit. Like, you know, the Ghost Nation's never really been something more than that hangs in the background. And just give an hour to that character and do an actual character study and not like, oh, this person might know something, but we got to hide it because it's not time for the reveal and not be able to connect with any of these people. Yeah. So this idea that we can do this with a character that no one really knows for a season, almost 2 full seasons, and have it have emotional heft shows me that these writers can do more, but they're fucking around with all these like plot hijinks as doing anything interesting like this. But it was a welcome reprieve. I really liked it. I like the idea that based on like the next week on, like it looks like they might be doing the same thing for Ed Harris's character. So I'm kind of like, give me more of these like character beats and make me involved and care about robots gaining sentience and wanting freedom. Like, just don't like make this grand gesture. Like, give me a reason to care. So.
This was the first time in like 4 or 5 episodes where I was like, all right, I could root for some of the robots, but like it actually, you felt the weight of what that character's been through, because when they said that they only come in for debugging and shit when they die, and he hasn't died in like 7 years, and even that was like self-inflicted. But
yeah, and I don't really completely buy the idea that that guy didn't die once in 10 years, but whatever, sure.
It was great to see that he's an Alpha 2, and I believe Dolores would be the Alpha 1s then. Yeah, it was cool also, seeing these robots kind of wake up on their own.
Yeah, and I like... It was a strong enough episode that the stuff that I didn't like and that didn't make sense, I just kind of glossed over. Like the idea that, am I to believe that he was the one like putting tattoos inside people's scalps and just sewing them back on? Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, that's the part I had the hardest part with, is because I remember the Man in Black having that scalp in the first season or whatever, but obviously you would notice these them all with scars around the top of their skulls, and why wouldn't anybody go to think like, what the hell do you have tattooed on your skull?
And it's one of those it's one of like those Lost things when they reveal something that meant something else in another season. You're like, huh? You're like, you know, the Man in Black, Ed Harris, all through the first season was like, the secret hidden game, I got to get to the center of the maze. And really, it's just like, no, the maze is just a metaphor for robots gaining sentience. It really means nothing.
This was in the hatch episode when they turn off the lights, but the black light paint shows where all the other hatches is. Like, oh, we get more information that makes no sense to us right now, and we don't have any idea how to decipher any of that. So, it's cool. I hope they do more with that character. It was cool to see Maeve's ability, I guess. Even though we kind of knew it already, her actually, I don't know. It's weird that she's such a needed character at this point for the human side, I guess. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like they're going to try and use like her code rewriting abilities to try and get the park back under control, but like, I don't know. There's 2 episodes left. I'm still not entirely sure what the point of this season is or where we're going with it. You know, it's literally just been kind of like few packs of robots roaming around killing people and not much else. Like there hasn't been a lot of anything this season, but I still like it. It's okay.
It's some weird, but I really love this episode. So strong episode.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Way to go, Westworld.
Yeah, and it shows what they should be doing more of. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
Some faith returns to the writing ability. So now let's talk about Legion, though. What'd you think of last week's episode?
It was a table setting episode. You know, it was moving the pieces around the board to get to where we needed to in the finale. It's very indicative of what like penultimate episodes are in a season. It's always about setting the stage for the finale. That said, I liked some of it. I didn't like some other stuff. Excuse me. And I think that's more of a hindrance of this season, and the same thing I've been complaining about for 8 weeks now, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever it's been, of that pacing problems. Because, like, it was like, what, episode 2 or 3 that I was like, oh, David's the bad guy. And then they go like 9 episodes, and now in 1 episode we're trying to get to this whole like David's bad and it's been inside him forever. Like we kind of played on throughout the season. I think it was played better. I also think that like
you're breaking up.
David may be more inexperienced. Oh well, Google Hangouts doesn't want us to do anything.
All right, you're back.
That David wouldn't be able to tell that the Farouk moved bodies. Like, sure, Oliver has been controlled not to say anything, but David couldn't see that really wasn't Farouk. Is weird to me.
Yeah. Considering he could get reads on him when he was in Oliver, the fact that he couldn't tell that he was jumping around, and it was obviously in Melanie which that didn't register to me until about halfway through her and Sid's like messing around.
Also, another fault for when you look back on the further things in the season, like they ended an episode and then twice during another episode showed Melanie attacking Clark to disrupt the plans, but she didn't do anything with him. She just hit him in the head, and then he still shows up in the desert to do his part of the plan. Like, there was no foresight to stop it. It's clunky. The season's very clunky at times when you look back on it.
That's fair.
I do like the idea that, like, that Farouk doesn't have to push Sid much. You know, like, that mistrust of David has been building all season on him lying to her and sneaking off, and so just doing a little prodding and showing her images outside of context is enough to kind of push her over the edge. I buy that. What else happened in this episode? So there was some weird monk things in a hole.
Yep.
And then
the
Minotaur got real big.
Basically, the holes, the Minotaur came alive. And that was pretty much it. For the most part.
Yeah, like I said, it was
and then he
table setting
episode. Yeah. It was a lot. It was a lot similar to the last 5-6 episodes. Just kind of putting pieces in places. But how'd you like that finale?
I don't know how to talk about the finale. Because I think the show might have it might have jumped over that line that it can't bring anyone back from. Like,
what's that?
dude, he date raped Sid. He mentally date raped her. There's no way to walk that back.
Yeah.
Ostensibly our hero and point of view for the show sexually abused his girlfriend. Like that was a problem 10 years ago when Spike tried to rape Buffy, but at least he didn't actually do it. Like, this was over that line.
All right, so I'm trying to be very delicate about this situation because I'm not for what he did, but it was only a projection. Granted, I don't think he's anywhere close to a hero anymore, for sure. Because all this was, I mean, that's his power, his mind power. So I think you had to take him down that notch to get everybody else on board to capture him. I don't know how they could have done it differently, and it was a real like shudder moment. I was like, "Ooh."
Well, the thing is, I'm not sure that from what they show us, as oblique as this show is sometimes, I'm not sure that what David did is what causes him to catch him. Like, I think that was just a terribly awful thing for him to have done. And when you look at it throughout the whole lens of the entire episode of, like, you know, Sid talks about it at the beginning when, you know, she talks about, like, the wife's at home with the kids, but, you know, the husband's out killing people because they don't see the abusiveness in a relationship. But, you know, like, throughout the whole episode, David's jealous, he's controlling, he's trying to make her do what he wants. It's all the telltale signs of, like, an abusive relationship. And then he takes over that line by mentally drugging her. And through all intents and purposes, the way his power worked, it is all but penetration. Like, she felt everything because he is firing those synapses. It's real gross. It's real gross, and I'm not sure that's the line they had to cross to make him to do that turn.
Yeah.
And anyway, like I was saying, I don't think the tribunal at the end, I don't think it had anything to do with Sid. I think that was once. I think maybe Carrie was.
Yeah, no. I think Carrie definitely caught it, but
I think it was the Shadow King when he broke out.
The Weave Basket, yeah, the Weave Basket guy watching everything go down. Obviously knew that David was dangerous beyond anything they could control.
And if you think about the theme that has been running the whole season, and that they really kind of hammered home at one point, this, you know, delusion. How does delusion start? How does it spread? What's it is? And they all become deluded by the Shadow King of that David is this threat. I think David actually is a threat, and they're probably right. But the aggressive, hostile nature that they move to, you know, the Shadow King is now free because it's a role reversal, right? At the beginning of the season, David was the weapon against the Shadow King, and now the Shadow King's on their side as the weapon against David. We've spent the whole season making these characters go from one end to the other. But I still think it's what the Shadow King was doing, which is even grosser to an extent, because, like, they could have played up the idea that maybe David did this because of the Shadow King in some way, but at the time it happened, he was entirely powerless.
What's so interesting is because throughout the whole season, all we heard was David killed them in the desert. But at the end of the episode, he didn't end up killing him in the desert, which showed he was capable of changing weapons. But then him kind of made him into this. Now he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
So it's almost an effect that they caused him to be this weapon.
Well, 100% is what broke him was, the desert scene with Sid. Her being like, when he's like, I love you, and she's like, which is really gross too when you think about what happens later in the episode when he's trying to be like, I'm a shitty person, but I love you. I don't care how shitty I am, I love you, it's fine. But, she's standing against that, being like, I'm sure you do, but that doesn't make what you're doing right, and I trust me more than you. And, like, that broke him. That's what caused that mental snap. So I get where they led to. And I like if that had happened, and they'd caught the Shadow King, and he had eventually broken out, like when he talks to the mouse, he finally gets that little bit of control. He could start spreading the delusion again and turn the people against him, which causes David to go further in his hole and just be like, fuck all you ants, I'm a god, and I'm out.
Yeah.
You could do all that without the sexual abuse. Like, I don't need that. Because at this point, they're back for a third season, and unless David becomes the full villain, and it's the team going after him and Sid killing him at the end, I don't know how you walk that character back to make him redeemable in any form.
It's fair. A few things I did like. Obviously, the mental fight that the Shadow King and David had was awesome. The plan he set forward for Lenny to help out. And then finally showing his split personality inside of him, like trying to figure it all out, and then essentially that helping the situation and breaking him even further.
Yeah, and like I said, I like the idea of him going rogue and turning and thinking he is a god and better than everyone. I like that as a narrative point. I just don't like the way we got there with a lot of stuff. Because that said, like that aside, I liked the opening stuff. Like the weird Who musical to them fighting cartoons, like, was cool. I liked the little bit of levity we got with the 3 years forward and like the home movies of Melanie and Oliver and the ice. Like, I like that. I liked the end scene. I liked Sid and Dave in the desert. I liked Dave and the Shadow King when the Shadow King's just like, which sucks because that whole conversation's close. Like, if he had just roofied her and not fucked her, it would have been fine. But the idea of like when the Shadow King's just like, you can't make someone love you. It's not going to work. I know because I tried with you for 30 years. She's going to look at you the way you look at me.
Because I wish he would have woken up from this whole mess and then been like, listen, this shit's going to be difficult. I've been lying to you, blah, blah, blah. I'm about to release you, and you're going to know everything. And I don't expect you to forgive me or anything, but I need to do this for you, and I'm a piece of shit. So I wish they would have.
And
but
also,
I believe it's probably going to be a driving point for Sid next season.
We'll see. I also think, to go back to how much I didn't like. You know this. You talked to me for this long. I didn't like a lot of episodes earlier in the season, but now I absolutely hate episodes where we spend a whole episode in Sid's mind so she can prove David that sometimes you got to get dirty and do the hard things. That's the only way we're going to survive. And then the desert, David's like, you told me to do this. She's like, yeah, but no. I watched 45 minutes of you telling me this is what we needed to do. And now you just saying, no, that episode's horseshit.
It's interesting. I think I want to burn through the whole season just straight through. I think I got to binge the whole season. Because I think there's little pieces we've missed along the way that are going to make sense now that we have the whole encapsulation. So, but the finale was much better than the rest of. If it put pieces together that I figured it was going to, but lost faith in the last couple episodes. I was worried that it wasn't going to get there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they turn this around, or what they go forward
I
with.
hope. I don't know. Like, I'll still stand by that first season is like brilliant. I love it. This is a little harder for me. I can pinpoint certain things that I think are great in this. There's just a huge swath of it where you go back. Honestly, if you go do a rewatch, if you that's fine. But I literally think that 90% of the shit was just like this happened. The answer is it looked like this whole season is style over substance. Like, get it this way, like, what did we actually get by having Autonomy be killed and put in a computer? Nothing. Yet how long did we spend with like him trapped in a computer rolling around, and like there's just huge swaths of like nothingness. Who was that creepy like black lady like shushing the dude in the basket head? I don't know. It looked cool. It's kind of creepy. Like, that's the answer to 90% of the show this season.
Yeah. What this show has done is I want to learn more about this character. I want to actually go and see Legion. Because they did a weird thing. Like, Legion's always been like the plague of 1,000 souls against humanity. They kind of tweaked that and just made it the world killer this episode, which I don't know if that's actually his nickname or whatever, but it's got me interested to know more about this character, because I think they could show off him much better in comics than they can with the FX show.
Well, like, I don't know. I think the show is a lot more artistically and thematically resonant than what I've seen of the character. The character is very much just like, I'm crazy and I have multiple personalities, and when I tap into one of those personalities, they all have their own power set, so I have different powers. Yeah. And there's like the one that's locked in the cage, and it's called Legion because he's the bad one. And admittedly, I haven't read enough, but
yeah.
But that said, it was cool, and not the finale, but the opening of the episode before, when it was like David on a throne of bones with Lenny, and he had the huge fucking hair. Like, that's what Legion looks like in the comic, and that fucking weird leather outfit and shit. Like, that's his comic costume. So that was kind of cool.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, I'm intrigued by the character for sure. It's kind of like the Split dynamic where it's got split personality. It's just that movie stretched out for this season for sure. That first season was fucking nutso and fantastic. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, when you look at this season as a whole, like, it's so narratively inert. Like we come out with that premiere and like, it's a race to Farouk's body, and it's David on the right side or the wrong side, and it's like 4 episodes of nothing. And then, oh, now here's what we're doing. Oh, now we're just gonna do a couple episodes of nothing. Like, they barely, like, because in the end, the 11 episodes, it was stop the Shadow King from getting his body. Shadow King has his body. It's over. Like, that's and like not much really happened in between.
Yeah, pretty much. You see David getting more powerful as he's using his powers more, but with that and the Shadow King's power being cast amongst everybody else, it's the struggle that wasn't present in the first one because everything was amped up 1,000%.
It's interesting.
I'm excited to binge it, so.
Just watch season 1. It's infinitely rewatchable, and like we just talk about
sure.
that.
So you want to talk about Coco?
What are we doing? You want me to leave?
How was Coco?
Oh,
come on!
It's fine.
You loved it, didn't you?
No, I really didn't. It's fine. Like, I get that, like, a family film like that is made more for kids, and it's going to have a pretty clear, like, moral story, and this is what we're telling, and it's about family, and that's more important than anything, and it's fine. But I just, like, it didn't do anything for me. Although I did think it was, like, it was weirdly, like, it takes that weird dark left turn where it's just like, oh yeah, I just started murdering people. I'm a hero to everyone, but I just had to start killing people. It's real weird that it takes that hard left turn.
This is why I like reviews with you, is because you just point out random shit like that. I did see Upgrade. That was pretty dope.
Yeah? Now I can talk about it a little more in depth. What I wanted when I was talking last week, what I wanted was more of that first guy he goes after, where it's like a weird buddy cop action movie where the straight man is a robot in his head controlling him. Like, and just that, like, shocked expression on his face as he's, like, stabbing this guy and stuff. And, like, I wanted more of that. Like, they could have played that comedic role through a little harder. But they had to get to that twist ending. Which is whatever.
Which was kind of, I love the concept. I think that's so incredible. I didn't think I could be more afraid of technology, but this obviously took it to a whole new level, and now, goddamn it, I don't know about technology anymore. Fuck it all. Burn it all to the ground.
Fair enough. But no, I think it's like, it's definitely in that Blumhouse wheel model where it's just like, here's like $5 million, go do something. And like, it's fairly funny. It's got some good action. It's a good concept. I like, as much as like, I feel like I should hate that main actor, but I actually like him in most of the stuff I've seen him in. But I like the weird physicality he brings to the role.
What has he been? What has he been in? Like, he looked exactly like Tom Hardy to me, and I was like, I just couldn't separate him anyway.
Yeah, he's he was the first Shocker in Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming, the one who gets sure. And then I saw him in a movie called The Invitation, which is really good. Like, it's on Netflix. You should maybe watch that. Not for the show or anything, but I just think it's a good movie. Those are the two things, well, three things now that I know him from, without looking it up, being like, oh yeah, it's that guy who I thought was Tom Hardy. But like, I like the weird physicality that he brings to the role of, like, when it's the CPU controlling his body, it's almost robotic. Like, he walks like fucking RoboCop, because it's like, of course, the machine's making him walk with precision and doesn't understand how a human would actually move. And he plays that the whole movie. It's really interesting.
To speak to when the computer would take over, it's got this weird moment where it switches. It goes to a really jarring camera where it's like, I can't think of what it's called, but like the Fear Factor, where they just have a camera strapped to the guy and he's just running along. It's
what you're saying is the Steadicam suit.
Steadicam,
but they do that thing where they lock the camera on the actor, so the camera moves with the actor as opposed to seeing the actor move. It's an interesting camera movement, and it makes for some weird shot, like, you know, when like it's against him on the ground and it swivels up with him as he stands up and stuff. Like, it's some interesting shots, but yeah, they're lucky the camera. So instead of moving within the camera frame is moving according to him. So,
I like I said, I love the concept. I think that it could have been. The story could have been told a little bit differently, that you didn't have that kind of bad twist ending. But other than that, I really liked it.
Yeah, I mean, and it wasn't like, okay, yeah, sure. Like, of course, that's how it's going to end, right? It would be cool if they did a sequel and it's just like full on him trying to live in society as a robot, not understanding it. Like, I can think
God damn it. when it locked him in his own mind, like, that's the shit that terrifies me about technology. Like, taking over human bodies and just locking. I mean, what more could he ask for? I mean, that would be enough for him. So,
but he locked him in. But he locked him within a memory that was good for him. You know, he was.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It was the best outcome for him, but also a computer has his body.
Yeah, well,
so it's fucking.
Shouldn't have put that computer in there to start with. I'm
also you should have read the EULA.
I'm also curious about how like the weird like third rent knockoff Jared Leto looking guy who created it. He confirms that he had never heard its voice. He'd never heard it talk. You know, he's like, "Oh, it talks to you," and then when it's talking over the house intercom, he's like, "Oh, is that you?" Like he's never heard it before. So how exactly did this killer robot computer chip set up all these assassins? And like, was he sending emails to everybody, or like, what was he? I don't understand how he communicated his plan.
What was that movie? What was that kid in?
I don't know. Was he actually in something besides this?
I know I've seen him in something, but like the main actor's mom seemed like it was his mom. That was so jarring. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
that's weird.
It's weird.
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see, what else do we have? How'd you like Ocean's 8? This is your first Ocean's movie, right?
That was my first Ocean's movie. They're not all this like flat, are they?
This was real bad.
It's and I think the problem comes down to like the director, because like all the cast is good and they're all game, but everything just kind of it just lays there. You know, there's no energy to it.
Yeah. The characters themselves were great. It's the story that didn't have much substance that kind of just didn't move anything along.
Yeah, the story, there was not much story there, but I'm okay with like ostensibly like a hangout movie, just these characters interacting, if like the direction wasn't so lifeless. Like it literally was just like it just kind of laid there, and the plan was really blah. And also there's this weird like I didn't not like the Ghostbusters reboot with the women because it was I didn't like it because it wasn't funny, was my problem with it. And I'm all for this idea of like gender swapping. It's fine. Like there's no reason that we can't do that. But this movie drives the point home of like we're women and it's a women's movie, and it's really weird. There's these weird call-outs to be like, we're making a gender swap film, guys. Do you guys know we're making this?
To the point where they were they were looking at hiring other criminals, and she threw out a name of a guy, and it was like, nope, only women. And it's like,
yeah, that threw me out. When she's like, nope, no men, all women. And I was like, do we really need to like throw this out there? And then they bring on a man to help them steal all the jewels anyway. Very weird.
Yeah.
And that feels like that kind of like, it feels like a meta commentary on what they're doing. And it's bad. That's bad. I also think it's borderline reductive that you are pushing this thoroughfare of it's all women and this is what we're doing. But really what we're doing is we got to get revenge against my bad ex-boyfriend. Like, you don't need that. Like, you could have just these kick-ass women doing this heist and being professional thieves as opposed to being like, nope, got to frame my ex-boyfriend.
I also did a really strange thing that I don't know why her brother had to be just dead. And like the one dude showed up and was like, "Your brother's dead. Don't be doing a heist, I guess." That's all I got.
Yeah,
and then
I
walked
literally
like.
I was sitting there. I was just like, "Did he die? Like, I've never seen him. I don't fucking know." But I was like, "It's really weird." That it's like, "No, we killed Clooney. Never bringing him back until they need to," and they realized.
But they showed a picture of him, so I hope he got paid for this movie. So
I heard apparently. Yeah. I heard Matt Damon shot a cameo and they cut it, so that's a thing.
Yeah, this movie was a big mess.
It was, but again, like, give me a competent story and a director, and I'm in for a sequel. Like, I love all those characters.
Yeah.
Like,
they made each one of them stood out on their own, and I think that was a real testament to the actresses themselves. But yeah, the story just wasn't there.
Yeah, because I mean, like, Sandra Bullock's fine in it. She's kind of got like that straight man role. It doesn't do a lot, but like Cate Blanchett's great. Anne Hathaway literally steals every scene that she's in, and then like she did. She's the best part of that movie, and you know,
really, I really thought Blanchett was the best part of the movie for me.
I probably wouldn't fight you, but I might. Depends on what day you caught me. Like, Anne Hathaway's great in that movie. But yeah, it's just like give me a better story and some better direction, and I'm there for a sequel, no problem. The weird thing is,
considering nobody needs it because everybody has $33 million now.
Yeah, until they have to frame someone else's boyfriend, that'll be the plot. I'm glad it did good. It made like almost 50 mil opening weekend, which was above projection. Wow. So like that's good. It was weird that I went to a like 2:00 showing on Friday, and I was the only dude in there. So like that felt a little weird.
Halfway or 2/3 of the way through, when James Corden is interviewing the ex, the film broke, and like it was just him like going back and forth for like a good minute. Completely, I just died laughing. I was like, I hope this is the rest of the movie for sure. Yeah, so we had some troubles, but yeah, it was an alright movie. It's a fun movie night.
Yeah, it's completely harmless. It could have been so much better. Like everyone was there and ready for it. So yeah,
it was interesting to see Burton's wife not in just a completely shadowed movie where she's just in the darkness and darkest clothes they can find, and like
yeah, but it was close.
Emo gothic sign. Yeah, I mean it wasn't far off, but yeah. So it's all right. What'd you think of Hotel Artemis?
It was all right. Like almost the same complaints about Ocean 8s can be levied towards that, where I think like the cast is all there and they're all game for it, but there's really like it's a very shaggy movie. Like there's not a whole lot going on in that movie, and it just kind of goes from scene to scene, and you kind of live with it because
which is so funny is I've had a friend talking to me about this for the last 2 days. Like they really felt really mad about Hotel, and then really kind of they liked Ocean's 8 more, and I was like, you're ridiculous. Hotel Artemis is fantastic. I thought all the characters did well. I didn't much care about the story because I was so intrigued by the characters and their lives. I guess I didn't really need much of a story because I was just watching assassins get out of this way of this riot that I thought Batista was fucking fantastic in the whole movie.
It is so weird that I'm watching a movie and Dave Bautista is acting across from Jodie Foster, and I think Dave Bautista is the best actor in that scene. Like, I'm just like, when did this happen? Because I swear, I came out of Infinity War saying the same thing, that Bautista was the best actor in it. Like, I think that dude is a hidden gem. He is gold and fucking everything.
Oh, absolutely. I love Batista. I've loved him since his WWE days. Like, I think he's just phenomenal beyond words. So,
Like, he's so good. Like that dude is a giant, and he's like, I gotta rehearse my badass speech. And he's trying to give it like a couple times.
He honestly could play the biggest teddy bear, and I'd be there for it. Like, give him any role you want because I'm gonna see it.
Yeah.
I loved it. You see what this badge means? It means I'm a healthcare professional. I was like, give me a Hotel Artemis 2 right now with him running the show. Oh my god.
So good. When he's just like the end scene when he's like coming for fucking Zachary Quinto, and he's just like, I'm gonna fucking kill you in front of all your boys. And I was like, do it. You kill him with that axe.
I was like, yes, please. When Goldblum showed up, that surprised the hell out of me. I'm sure he was in the trailer, so you knew he was going to be there. But
yeah, he was in the trailer.
Yeah, he kind of stole the show. Also, the one chick, the mummy. I thought that standoff at the end was really good with her.
So, yeah, no, she's really good.
Yeah, I just love all these characters.
Yeah, and like Sterling Brown's really good as like ostensibly the main guy. Jenny Slate shows up as the cop for some reason, and she's fine for the part she's in. But it's kind of like, it's that Harry Dogga movie. It's just kind of like,
yeah.
If it wasn't the caliber of cast that they got, I think it would have definitely dropped a few notches, but the cast is so good, they kind of carry everything.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Go back to the episodes like 2 or 3 months ago when I was bitching about how Charlie Day can't play a bad guy in Pacific Rim. No, that was just bad direction and writing because he's great in this one, doing the same thing, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is going to be something that I return to just because I had so much fun with all the characters interacting. Also, the set designs were fantastic. Like, I love that old-timey look with, like, new tech. Like, it felt very Bioshock-esque.
Yeah, it's got the Art Deco with a sci-fi flair to it. It does. There's just a smidge like points taken off because it 100% feels like this is just a like John Wick's hanging out across the street. Like this movie feels like the exact same world, you know.
Which I'm sure John Wick came out and like they were just starting to make this movie, and I'm sure the writer just fucking flipped the table. He's like, God damn it. They beat us to the punch, so whatever we come up with we're fucked. So,
yeah,
but I would totally love seeing you give me John Wick 3 and he's hanging out in Hotel Artemis with fucking Batista. You got me seeing that movie 2-3 times in the theater.
Have you seen any of the casting for John Wick 3?
I saw somebody.
Jason
female.
fucking Mantzoukas is in it. No. Jason Mantzoukas. You know who Jason Mantzoukas is? Yeah, the Zook. He's playing an assassin. You would know him as soon as you saw him or heard him.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I want to say Blanchett was announced, wasn't she?
No, it was Halle Berry.
Halle Berry. Yep, that was it. And I was like, God, why? Nobody wants to see Halle Berry in anything.
Well, apparently her and Keanu are doing the nasty in real life, so that's the rumor sheets.
I swear, if she brings her dirty laundry into goddamn Bill and Ted's 3, I'll riot. I'll cause the riots of San Francisco.
It was.
Yeah, that's Hotel Artemis.
It was super weird that I watched all 3 of those movies for the show in one day. Like I went to a noon of Hotel Artemis, a 2 of Oceans, and then came back for a 9 o'clock of Hereditary. It was a real weird fucking day.
Right on. So let's talk about Lady Bird. Did you actually rewatch it for this week, or are you just going off for see it?
Nope, I rewatched it.
How good was this goddamn movie?
I fucking told you this. Goddamn, like it was number 2 on my list last year.
I was never arguing. I wanted to see it, but it never came around anywhere close to me until we were like mid fucking February, and I was like, "How the fuck am I supposed to see this?" Like, so Yeah, great fucking movie. If you haven't seen Lady Bird yet, see fucking Lady Bird.
It's so good, right?
It's
so good.
so good. Yeah, I was telling you earlier, like the lines, it feels like the opposite of what Hereditary was, where this family wants her to succeed, and like she's doing everything she can. That's debatable. I guess she's doing enough, but with Hereditary, like everybody just hates everybody, and it's so fucking insane.
Yeah, no, like there's a reason Lady Bird was almost at the top of my list last year. Like it's just beautiful. It's so good. It's so well written. And to think that like think about it this way. My top two last year was Get Out and then Lady Bird, and those were both for first time movies for those directors. Like that's insane. Like those movies are so well made. Plus, I'm pretty sure I said it in my recap last year. Like any movie that can make me get emotional because of fucking Dave Matthews Band, 5 stars.
No, that was 1 point deduction from me. I was like, nobody listens to Dave Matthews. Get out of here with that shit. I was visibly upset with Dave Matthews. I was like, no, nobody likes this song. You go to prom and you enjoy.
I don't know if you fucking like if you followed any like Greta Gerwig's interviews or anything from it. Like she talked about it. She was like, I'm a huge Dave Matthews fan. And she's like, that she's like, that song meant a lot to me, just like it does to Lady Bird in the movie. She's like, I personally hand wrote Dave Matthews a note being like, can I use your song? Here's what it meant to me and all this. And he was like, yeah, sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
She did the same thing with Timberlake too, so that they could get Cry Me a River at the dance party or at the party. Like she personally got so cool. That movie's so good. That kid from fucking Call Me by Your Name, the one who's all like, I read poetry and I play bass. Like I hate that kid so much because I've known a million of him. Like it's so real.
That was the group he used to hang out with, so it's not surprising in the least.
Don't smoke cloves. I only hand roll my own because I'm not into the economy. I'm like, God, you're so real. It hurts my face.
I was like, this is fucking Luke's high school. I've seen this movie. That's where I would have drawn the line. If you would have started hand rolling when we lived together, I don't know what I would have been able to handle it. I was like, we've crossed some lines. Now we're gonna see therapy.
One of my best friends from high school used to fucking hand roll cigarettes all the time.
I'm not surprised.
Big bag of tobacco.
I've had too many stoner friends that are just, they have the little machine, and it's like, that's too much work.
Oh no,
that
was too consumer. He was all like, here's the paper, I'm licking it and fucking rolling it. Like, he was a straight edge fucking, just fucking hardcore. Didn't turn into a pothead, but no, Lady Bird's great. I love that movie. It's so good. Like that fucking the airport scene breaks me every time I see that movie.
Oh,
it's God. So
good. The dad's fucking joke. When they run into her old boyfriend, and he's like, "Did your mom find out about the wait list?" And his dad's like, "Oh fuck." And then later he comes in and is like, "Are you guys gonna get divorced over there?" Like, we don't have money to get divorced. Like I was like, this is a beautiful, beautiful goddamn movie. Like, because if you're talking your emo side, like I was Lady Bird's family, like that was us. Like we were struggling to fucking, and like when we decided to go to college, like our parents were like, "You got to stay close," and we're like, "We're fucking going wherever." It's like,
yeah.
Oh, this movie's so good.
It is. It's beautiful. I love it. It's so good.
Fucking
So
see
good.
Lady Bird
Plus,
for sure.
Fucking I'm not even gonna try and mangle her name. The girl who plays Lady Bird, like almost flawless American accent, considering she's super Irish. Like,
yeah,
super.
I couldn't remember where I saw her from, and then I realized she was Hannah like
forever
6 or
ago.
7 years ago.
No, we were living together when Hannah came out. That movie was like 10 years ago.
A decade ago? Fuck. Anyway, great actress. Great actress. Go see Lady Bird. So, what'd you think about Hereditary?
You know what I thought. I'm more curious on what you thought. Because I fucking loved it, and you know I did.
It's a well-made movie. If you like horror movies, I think you're going to dig this. It was not my cup of tea, and I hated it. I hated how well done it was because it, like, that whole fucking night I slept with the lights on. I was like, I can't wait to see any other goddamn movie the next night so I can get this one out of my fucking head.
Which is crazy because, like, I'm not trying to be that person who's like, it's not scary. Because, like, I don't actually think, like, it's not aiming to, it's more upsetting to me than it is, like, scary. You know, like, it doesn't rely on jump scares.
That last 5 minutes just kicks fuck off.
It's like the last 20, but sure, I get it. It's
okay.
When I think about that, when I think back on Hereditary, which, like, I wanted to go see again, like, I just wanted to take it all in again. It's not supernatural elements that I think back on at all. It's like the human ones that are just fucking, like, emotionally scarring in that film. Like Toni Collette screaming into the fucking floor and the camera refusing to cut away. Oh my god, that scene, I was like, oh shit. Like, I was so uncomfortable.
Are you talking about the dinner table?
No, there's that. I'm talking about after they bury Charlie.
Okay.
And fucking she's just like in her bedroom just howling into the floor.
Fucking
then it's
Toni Collette was
intense
in this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Holy
but you know,
shit.
it's the fucking the family dinner scene. Like, that scene is so fucking insane. It's
so insane,
it's the scene
so fucking brutal. Like, oh goddamn! Like, the son, amazing job in this movie as well. Like,
yeah, like the scene where, like, car accident happens and they cut the audio and they just stay on his face. Oh my god, it's so good.
That car accident, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, completely out of left field. The more unsettling part was the next morning. And, like,
yes.
Did that shit happen? And then, like, you get this delay, like, okay, I'm going to pick up fucking groceries, whatever, and, like, you hear the door shut, and, like, it's fixated up on him in his room, so, like, this is all, like, very faintly and quietly in the background, and, like, you hear her outside just start screaming, and she starts, and, like, she remains screaming for fucking 10 minutes. Like, this fucking movie was something else.
And that's what, like, I know you had. I don't know if you saw a trailer for it, but you at least knew about the movie because you literally feel like.
I think I saw, like, the first maybe 20 seconds. Like, I knew it was going to be a horror movie. It's one of the. I think it played before Winchester earlier this year, and, like, yeah, it would have been that. And, like, it showed the creepy daughter. I was like, I'm not gonna like this movie because I don't like creepy kids in movies. So, like, I immediately stopped watching the trailer, and I was like, you brought it up maybe a month ago that we were going to see it. I was like, can we not? Because I just don't like creepy kids.
Yeah,
and, like, when they killed, like, the car accident, I was like, I was shocked where they went.
It's so brilliant because they hinged all the marketing on that fucking kid. And then they kill her in the fucking first 40 minutes. Like, it's the equivalent of fucking Janet Leigh being killed in Psycho. Here's the start of your movie, and now we kill her 30 minutes in. Like, they played on those expectations, and it's like No, A24 is fucking a marketing genius, whoever did this. Because,
yeah, for sure.
Because, in the fact that this movie played at Sundance back in January, and no one fucking spoiled that for 6 months. Like, no one was out there being like, it's not a creepy kid movie. Like, no one dropped it. No one it's like, I'm all over, I'm all over, film Twitter and stuff and follow all those guys. Like, fucking no one. It's it was literally, oh no, she just got her fucking head knocked off by a telephone pole.
Oh, and it didn't show any of it for 10 minutes, and then it showed her fucking head decapitated fucking on the side of the road with ants crawling. I was like, this fucking movie is unsettling to the max.
Yeah, and what makes it unsettling is literally I'm well versed enough in the horror genre. It's probably my favorite genre of film because even when they're bad, I think they're interesting in some ways. So I'll always go see a horror film over comedy any day of the week, So I'm attuned to certain things. If you see a horror movie with me, jump scares don't get me, not because it doesn't startle me, but I'm so attuned to the process that I'll tense up because I know one's coming. I'm just, you see the model 1,000 times, you know what's coming. Which isn't to say stuff isn't scary or whatever, but it is to say I got a Rosemary's Baby feel right away, and I knew, okay, these old ladies, it's a fucking cult. I knew we were doing a satanic cult type thing right away. And I think the movie is more interesting in that first hour and a half before we get to creepy naked people in the attic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When, it gets to the attic part, and that was for me the ending to Cloverfield 10. It's a completely different movie. It didn't need that at all, and I wish it wouldn't have been there. But everything up to that point is ambiguous. Is the mom crazy? Is she you're not able to tell. Another thing I wanted to talk about was how we watched The Terror for the last month and a half, 2 months, and we got that ambiance of this horror feel, and this movie nailed that ambiance. It was, I think that was the part that was most unsettling. The music and everything was just so well done. Just creeped me the fuck out.
Yeah, and I mean, really, if you look at that movie, I think there's two reasons that it got a D cinema score from people coming out. That one, I think they expected a horror film, and really, until the last 20 minutes, it's a family drama about mental illness is really what that movie's about. And dealing with grief and how the two compound upon each other to destroy a family. And then all of a sudden there's satanic cult in the last 20 minutes, which is fine. But also it's a deeply ugly and upsetting movie. And I don't mean ugly from a viewpoint. I mean the things that people
it's realistic and it really touches on things that we see in daily life. We know people that are hurt like this and then just lash out because they've been fucking building up and they just fucking hit a boiling point.
It's literally that thing of I'm in pain, so the only thing I can do is cause you pain as well, so that you feel as bad or not worse than me. That's literally just a circle of that through this whole fucking movie. That scene when it turns out to be a dream, but when she's in his bedroom and she's all I never wanted you. I wanted a miscarriage. I tried everything, and it's the hurt on his face as he sees that of hit, and and he goes from he does that quick role reversal in towards the end where it's you go from kind of the rebellious teenager to he's literally calling for his mommy and crying because he needs.
Oh that. Man, when they were doing the fucking seance, whatever, with the cup thing. And he's just bawling because he's so frightened of everything that's going on. This fucking movie.
It's so good,
I got out and I was like, fuck you and fuck that movie. I can admit it was a well done movie, but I don't think I'll ever see it again. I'll probably think about it a lot, but like, fucking, that movie was something else.
I think I'll see it again.
Which just got me excited for fucking A24 because they make great movies, and it's like, I wish they'd make anything else but horror.
They do.
Because I don't want to watch horror movies.
They do make A24 is really good. I like A24. But yeah, and even like my quibbles, like one, I think if we had cut the last minute and a half off that movie, I think it would have been better. If we didn't get that off-screen voiceover narration that just kind of explains everything. Like I think if they'd cut that, I think if it had been like him going up into the treehouse and seeing like his decapitated mother and grandmother kneeling before his dead sister's head, even though, I don't know, I'll ask you, I guess, like, he jumps out the window and he dies, and then Charlie's spirit goes into him, right?
Yeah, you see the black shadow move from his body, and then that white light comes down and goes into his body. So I'm guessing
well, that's Charlie. What I thought it was, so. I mean, like, that was ambiguous enough. I liked it, but like, so like the idea of that girl in that body going up and seeing her own decapitated head on this fucking statue, and then her dead mother and grandmother. Like, if you would just cut with her seeing that and turning around, it would have been so much better than, oh, the demon god, we raised you.
Was it her body on the statue? I didn't see that.
Head. It was Charlie's head with a crown on it, on like a fucking mannequin.
Oh, I thought it was just like a mannequin's head. Like I didn't even look at it. I'm glad I didn't, because that shit was fucked up when they did show it. And then making the fucking little diorama of it. I'm like, this movie is on levels of fucking insanity I can't handle right now.
Oh God, yeah, no, but like, there's, even though I don't like love that last bit, there's stuff in there that like I'll remember for a long time, like Toni Collette floating in the attic with piano wire, cutting her own fucking head off, and then her decapitated body floating up so elegantly into a treehouse. Like, it's just bizarre, disturbing imagery. But
her chasing him into the attic, I was like, I don't like anything right now.
Oh, when she's on the ceiling, just bashing her head against the attic door. You weren't into that?
Oh God. No, I definitely was like, I completely forgot about that part right now, and I definitely did not like that fucking part. Ugh.
That said, what I do like and what sticks with me is that first hour and a half, just that real unsettling, and like that, the idea of what grief does to a family, what mental illness and how it affects. It's like, I really like it. I really like that movie, but I 100% understand people who don't. Like, I get it, you know.
I got out of it and I was like, well, this is totally Luke's fucking movie. Like, there's no way he didn't like this movie. Like, if you would have came and been like, you know what, fuck it. I was like, I would have been blown away. But I knew there was too much about this movie that was too good that you liked.
Like, even if the movie was like horseshit and it wasn't good, like, Toni Collette's performance like would knock it up 3 grades. Like, she's so fucking good in the movie.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Have you ever seen The United States of Terra?
No, but she plays someone with like DID, doesn't she?
Yep, does it really well, and that's why I really like. I'll watch anything she does because I know she's an amazing actress. So, also, I kind of went to the movie for that, and I was like, not liking it, but you know, I'll see it. It's whatever.
Also, another one with like a flawless American accent. Like, she's so good at that. And you know, like, she played the mom in The Sixth Sense, and now she's coming back and playing a mom in this horror movie. It's a nice little circle.
It's been fucking way too long since I've seen The Sixth Sense that I didn't even realize she was the mom.
I mean, maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh no, I'm sure you are. It's been probably 15 years since I've seen that movie. Though I think I've only seen it in theaters. Crazy. So go see Hereditary. Like beyond, I mean, you just need to see it. It's fucking insane. Go see it. I mean, if you sat through us ruining everything, might as well see it just to see what we were talking about.
Yeah, go get some context.
You will get unsettled for sure. So what are we watching for next week then? Since we're done with Legion, we got Westworld.
Mm-hmm. That's
Incredibles 2.
It's Incredibles 2 and Tag.
We got to see Superfly too.
I haven't checked. It opened today. It opened Wednesday today. I just haven't checked if it's playing here. Who is Director X?
Who's Director X? What?
That like I saw the trailer for Superfly and it was just like from acclaimed Director X and I was like, who the fuck is Director X?
Oh, I have no idea. But yeah, I just saw the trailer for it. Yeah, it definitely says Director X.
Yeah, Director X. So yeah, it's that. Tag. I have a confession. That I've never told anyone.
You've never seen Incredibles.
I've never seen Incredibles.
You're fucking lying.
I've never seen it. It's one of the few early Pixar movies I haven't seen.
Well, we gotta see fucking Incredibles because you have to have context.
I gotta find a fucking copy. I'm not buying it. I can tell you that much. But I'll try and find it. I'll figure it out. I could have just kept my goddamn mouth shut.
No, I think you mentioned it a while ago. It's definitely not on Netflix, so.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. So it's those three theatrically, Westworld, and then on Netflix we're gonna watch The Void and Bad Batch.
Okay. Right on. So come check that stuff out next Tuesday, and tell us what you thought about Hereditary.
It's awesome. Okay. We need to soon. We'll have to watch The Witch, the other A24 horror film.
We're gonna have to watch fucking Sicario too. That's coming the end of July.
It's like a couple weeks. Yeah, it's a couple weeks because next week is Jurassic Park, and then something after that. You know, I had to double check. I think I did it like 2 days ago. I was just like, I know why I should watch it, but I was like, I'm pretty sure fucking Denis Villeneuve directed Sicario, and I was like, oh, he did, yeah. And Emily Blunt's in it. I was like, I guess I can watch this.
I mean, that's the only reason I want to see it because he didn't do the second one, did he?
No, he didn't.
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah. So I'm excited about a lot of there's going to be a lot of hit or misses these next month or two. So buckle up.
Yeah, get ready, guys. We're going to just start watching
weird Tag, movies. Though. Yeah. So. Yeah.
I like everyone in that cast except Jeremy Renner.
He's won me over as Hawkeye, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Did you see that? Like, I had heard he had broken his arms doing a stunt on that. On Tag, he broke his arms, and like it affected his shooting schedule for the Avengers 3 and 4 when they shot him back to back. Apparently, they had to CGI a lot of his arms in Tag, so like I'm gonna be looking for arm CGI.
I wish I didn't know that going in, but it's whatever. So yeah, we'll catch you next week with all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Peace, pineapple, and all that other stuff.